Hey everyone! Welcome to our graphic design course. Today we were kicking off with lesson number one, where we dive into the introduction to graphic design. This lesson isn't just a starting point, it's really the foundation for everything we will cover. In lesson number one, we're going to cover the basics things like what is graphic design, controversial topics about graphic design, differentiators of graphic artists to graphic designers, importance of graphic design, and application of graphic design, tools and softwares that graphic designers commonly use. Now, let's dive into it. Let's start first on defining what is graphic design. Simply put, graphic design is the art and practice of creating visual content to communicate messages. It involves a harmonious blend of images, text, and ideas to convey information or provoke an emotional response from the audience. Imagine you're trying to tell a story, but instead of using words, you use a combination of visuals and text to make the story more engaging for the audience. For example, a well designed poster for a concert doesn't just tell you the date and time, but also gives you a feel of the event's vibes through colors and imagery. Now, let's dive into the graphic design arguments. There are a lot of controversial topics on what should graphic designers do. Do graphic designers need to use Adobe Photoshop all the time? Now, let's talk about it. Well, it's true that Canva users allowed to engage in graphic design activities, such as creating visual content. It's important, really, to distinguish between the tool itself and the individuals who use it. Canva as a graphic designer, is it true or false? Now let's answer it. Canva is a platform that facilitates graphic design tasks, but it doesn't autonomously perform the role of graphic designer. Instead, it empowers users, including both professional graphic designers and non designers, to engage in graphic design activities. Therefore, while Canva enables graphic design, it doesn't replace the role of a human graphic designer. So, again, Canva as a graphic designer doesn't just define on the platform that graphic designer is using, because you can use Canva whether you are a designer or a non-designer. But as long as you know what are the basics of how to graphic design and how you professionalize the existing designing skills that you have, then you can be called as graphic designer without basing your judgment through the use of the platform. Even myself, as a graphic designer with over 6 years of experience, is using Canva up to this date. Controversial topic number two, graphic designer that are using AI. The integration of artificial intelligence into the field of graphic design has revolutionized the way graphic designers work and possibilities they can achieve. AI tools offer designers innovative ways to streamline their workflows. They can also automate repetitive tasks through AI and generate creative solutions like using Midjourney. From intelligent layout suggestions to automated image editing and even predictive design trends analysis, artificial intelligence empowers designers to work more efficiently and experiment with new ideas. While AI can handle certain tasks autonomously, it also complements the human creativity and intuition that are essential to graphic design, allowing designers to focus on high level conceptualization, strategy, and client collaboration. Ultimately, the synergy between graphic designers and AI technologies opens up exciting opportunities for innovation and creativity in the ever evolving landscape of design. Again, those graphic designers are using AI is okay as long as the AI that they are using is ethical to the environment of designers. There are a lot of people that are firmly confused about the difference of graphic designer and graphic artist. What are the difference between the two? Now let's dive in. The primary focus of graphic designers, they are more focused on solving visual communication problems for their clients. They analyze client needs, target audience, and project objectives to create designs that effectively convey messages or solve specific challenge. Again, graphic designers are problem solvers. Graphic artists, on the other hand, emphasize expressive and creative visual artistry. Their focus is often on self expression and the exploration of artistic concepts rather than solving commercial or client based problems. The purpose is graphic designers typically work on commercial projects commissioned by clients. They create designs for branding, advertising, user interfaces, and other purposes aimed at fulfilling specific client objectives. Graphic artists, on the other hand, create art for its own sake, often driven by personal expression or artistic exploration. Their work may not necessarily have commercial purposes and is often created to evoke emotion or convey personal narratives. On the skills, graphic designers possess proficiency in design software and tools such as Adobe Creative Suite. They are skilled in layout design, typography, color theory, and understanding design principles that we will talk about later on this course. Graphic artists master various artist techniques, including drawing, painting, digital art, and mixed media. They may use traditional or digital mediums to create their artwork. On the client interaction, graphic designer frequently collaborate with clients and stakeholders throughout the design process. Why? Because graphic designers gather feedback, incorporate revisions, and ensure that the final design meets the client's requirements and objectives. Because again, graphic designers are problem solvers. Now, graphic artists, on the other hand, may work independently or collaboratively because they are more likely to show their self expression, art for its own sake with other artists. While they may receive feedback or input from others, their creative process is often more personal and less client driven. On the output, graphic designers produce a variety of visual materials, including logos, branding materials, advertisements, website layouts, and user interfaces. While graphic artists create illustrations, paintings, digital art, pieces, and other forms of visual artwork that may be exhibited in galleries, shared online, or used for personal expression. While the goal of the graphic designer is again to communicate messages and solve specific design challenges for their clients, while graphic artists aim to evoke emotion, tell stories, or convey personal narratives through their artwork. On training, graphic designers typically undergo formal education in design principles, often earning degrees in graphic design or related fields. They receive training in design theory, software proficiency, and industry standards. While graphic artists may have formal or informal education. Why? Because there are specialized training programs, or maybe it would be a self taught skills acquired through practice and experimentation. On flexibility, graphic designers are adaptable to client needs and brand guidelines. They can adjust their design approach and style to accommodate different project requirements and target audiences. On graphic artists, they often emphasize their personal style and vision in their artwork. While they may take inspiration for various sources, they prioritize artistic expression and creative exploration over adherence to external constraints. On the industry application, graphic designers work across various industries, including advertising, marketing, publishing, and web design. So they contribute to the creation of visual materials used in commercial contexts. Graphic artists, naman, are often associated with the fine arts industry, although their work may also extend to illustration, concept art, and other creative fields beyond the traditional fine art galleries. Their artwork may be used for editorial purposes, merchandise, or maybe digital media. Now, let's talk about why graphic designing is really important and where do we see it in action. Graphic design is really important because it enhances on how a brand or us can communicate well. Think of it like this. A plain message might get ignored, but when it is wrapped in a visually appealing design, it catches the eye and holds the attention. Number one importance of graphic designing is the communication. Graphic design is essentially visual storytelling. Imagine trying to explain a complex idea solely with words. It can be challenging and sometimes boring for the audience, especially right now that we are a visually centric people. But with graphic design, you can combine text, images, and layout to make that idea clear and appealing. For example, this ads from adsoftheworld.com. Use this picture as example. This is from DSM, Products with Purpose, Odds of the World, parts of the Clio network. So they want to portray a nutritional product market dubbed as a sea of sameness. DSM, a global partner and supplier of ingredients for human nutrition and health companies, needed a way to differentiate themselves from a host of competitors with many of the same offerings. The Products with Purpose campaign paid off that vision and value story. They created a campaign that inherently differentiated DSM by going beyond the products they sell. delivering a human benefit story. In doing so, they simultaneously group the competition together while creating a promise based on a larger, more important vision. Rather than the what, we focused on the why. Instead of a text filled with the information, this poster tells a story about data in a visually engaging way, which is their choice to tell the story through visuals. This not only makes the promotion easier to understand, but also more memorable. Graphic design helps businesses and individuals to effectively communicate their messages by turning complex information into simple visuals. It can clarify and enhance the message, making it more digestible and impactful for the audience. The next importance of graphic design is its engagement. Now let's talk about engagement. And today, we are bombarded with content everywhere on social media, websites, advertisements, and more. With so much information competing for our attention, it's easy for messages to get lost in the noise. Good graphic design can cut through that clutter, like this sunscreen that you see on the screen. Grabs attention with striking visuals and keeps it with an engaging layout. Think about a well designed social media post. Vibrant colors, bold typography, and an eye catching visual make you stop scrolling and take a closer look on why the sunscreen is so big. By making content visually appealing and easier to digest, graphic design helps engage the audience longer. This means people are more likely to read, understand, and remember the information you are presenting. All right, now let's move on to the next one. This example comes from Maria K Studio's rebranding that is posted on Behance.net. Now let's move on to branding. Graphic design is really and absolutely essential for creating a strong brand identity. Imagine the golden arches of McDonald's, the apple silhouette of Apple, or the swoosh of Nike. These logos are more than just images. They embody the brand's identity, values, and even their promise to the customer. Take this Maria K Studios rebranding as example. It provides different options and palette that will make the brand be identified through visuals. Graphic design helps create logos, business cards, packaging, and other brand assets that make a memorable impression. It ensures that all visual elements consistently reflect the brand's personality and message. So this consistency builds recognition and start with the audience over time. Now, let's go to the last part of the importance of graphic design. Let's look at the aesthetics. While graphic design has functional uses in communication, as like what I've said earlier, that it is more likely about solving a problem of a client through communicating visually. So, enhancing appeal through aesthetics can help because it also adds beauty and visual manifestation to various forms of media. Aesthetics are all about how pleasing something is to look at. Consider a beautifully designed poster in this example. Pepsi Max. Beyond just providing information or services, a well designed poster uses relevance through layout, color, and typography to create a visually pleasant experience for the user. This not only makes the site more enjoyable to see, but also enhances the overall visual eye experience. In advertising, aesthetics play a crucial role. Like a beautifully designed ad isn't just about selling a product, it's about creating an emotional connection with your audience. Good design can evoke feelings of joy, excitement, trust, or desire, which can significantly influence how people perceive the product or services being advertised. Now, let's move into application of graphic design. Now that we understand the importance of graphic design, let's explore with its practical applications. Graphic design plays a role in more likely various domains such as marketing, digital media, branding, and editorial design. Now let's take a look at each one in detail. So the first one is marketing materials. In marketing materials, this includes brochures are versatile print materials used to provide detailed information about products, services, or events. Flyers is also called as marketing materials because they are usually a single page print pieces used to grab attention quickly and deliver concise information. And lastly, for advertisements, it is also included in marketing materials, whether in print, online, or altered formats, advertisement aim to promote products or services. Effective ad design uses a mix of imagery, typography, and color to make the ad stand out and convey its message in a split second. For example, a striking billboard might use minimal text and bold visuals to capture the attention of passing drivers. In all these forms, the goal of graphic design is to make the marketing material visually appealing and informative, ensuring that it communicates the key messages effectively and encourages the desired response from the audience. On the digital media, it includes website design, social media graphics, and email newsletters. Website design serves as the digital face of businesses and organizations. Graphic design in web design focuses on creating an aesthetically pleasing and user friendly experience. So, this involves everything from the layout and color scheme, typography, and imagery. Good website design guides users through content seamlessly, making it easy for them to find information and perform actions like making purchases or signing up for newsletters. Same as with social media graphics, all the social media in graphic design includes creating posts, banners, stories, and ads that attract attention and drive interaction. For example, a well designed Instagram post might use vibrant colors, clear text, and compelling imagery to encourage likes, shares, and on comments. For email newsletters are used to keep subscribers informed and engaged with updates, promotions, and news. Effective graphic design, specifically on email newsletters, involves creating clean, attractive layouts that highlight key messages and encourage clicks. This might include the use of images, headers, and buttons to break up text and guide the reader's eye. Now let's move on to the branding. We also talk about that it enhances the branding when it comes to the importance of graphic design. Now let's move on to the application of graphic design that it's also about branding. Branding is another key where graphic design is essential. Again, this includes creating logos, stationaries, business cards, and packaging. So a logo is the cornerstone of the brand's identity. Again, logo is the cornerstone of a brand's identity. So that includes a graphic symbol or emblem that represents a company, product, or service. On business cards, these are the tangible representation of a brand identities that can be shared during personal interactions. On packaging design, it involves creating the visual and structural design of a product's packaging. For the editorial design, this includes magazines, books, newspaper. Now that you understand how it is very important on how we apply graphic design in different media, it means that graphic designing is still an in-demand job up to now. So, when it comes to editorial design, it is much likely more on the print materials. It includes the magazines, books, newspapers. That includes layout, rightful choices of typography, and also the promises that an imagery goes beyond on making it a window showcasing of the story on communicating with its audience. Let's dive into tools and software of graphic designers. We have different kinds of tools and software that we are using in graphic designing. Number one, Canva. Canva is a quick designing tool that can definitely help you on managing your artistic skill well with the available templates and formats that are inside the platform. You can actually customize or use your own designing skills starting from the scratch. Well, there are a lot of you that are arguing on the alternative platforms on the Canva because of its updates. There is actually an available platform of Adobe, which is Adobe Express, that is Adobe Sparks before. So this also includes templates and other designing materials that can definitely help you to design quickly a poster material or whatsoever. Also, on Photoshop, it is by using on photo editing, artwork editing, web graphics, and more. On AI, it is more likely editing on logos, mascots, and icons. On InDesign, these are more likely on the print design. Again, on Photoshop, this is more likely on photo editing itself. Photoshop is made of pixels every canvas is made of pixels. That's why it is really crucial for you to understand the difference of each tree. Photoshop is all about pixels. Adobe Illustrator is all about vectorized materials. And InDesign is all about creating the print materials such as newspapers, magazines, and books. InDesign are focused more on typography. Adobe Illustrator focuses more on vectorized objects. Photoshop focuses on just editing itself. In a nutshell, graphic design is art of combining visual elements and text to communicate ideas and messages effectively. The importance of it is communication, which enhances the clarity and impact of messages, engagement, which captures and maintains audience interest, branding, which establishes and reinforces brand identity, aesthetics, which adds visual appeal across various media. On applications, it is used in marketing materials, digital media, branding, and editorial design. To sum up, graphic design is really an integral to various applications because it enhances marketing materials by making them visually appealing and informative, elevates digital media through engaging and user friendly designs, and also fortifies branding by creating a cohesive and memorable brand identities. And lastly, enriches editorial content by making it more attractive and easier to read. All those things are working harmoniously when it comes to graphic designing. Understanding the applications will give you a solid foundation as we move forward in exploring more about graphic design. Whether you're creating a brochure, designing a logo, or laying out a magazine, these principles will guide you in producing effective and compelling designs. Key tools: Adobe Photoshop are used for photo editing and raster graphics that with the use of pixels. Adobe Illustrator are more likely vector graphics and illustrations. Canva and Adobe Spark is more likely about user-friendly design tool for quick graphics. Adobe InDesign is more on magazine, books, and choices of typography. These are the things that you will learn on this lesson 1. And now let's move on to the lesson 2, types of graphic designers and how much are they earning.